If I could give you any piece of advice, I would say don't make this mistake before you fall asleep, which is what the majority of people are doing. So if you want to be that 1%, then watch this video. So I first want to start off this video by saying that currently you are running on programs. So you have something called a subconscious mind, which is dictating anywhere from 95 to 98% of your actions. But even looking at it a step further, our subconscious mind is what is projected in our physical world, which means our subconscious mind is responsible for what we manifest. And our subconscious mind is programmed from age 0 to 7. Now, the reason why this is because our brain waves were moving at a much slower rate when we first entered the world. Now, as adults, our brain waves move a lot faster. So typically during the day, the majority of us are in beta brainwave state, which means that our brain waves are moving at such a fast rate that we are just running on our program. So we don't necessarily have the ability to reprogram something from that state. So when we were children, when we were anywhere from age 0 to 7, our brain waves were in theta, meaning that everything that we saw, everything that we heard, the environment that we were in was automatically programming us. And this is why often you look at your family, you look at family dynamics, you look at maybe how much money they made, you look at their relationship dynamics, and often you recreate without realizing the same scenarios because you're just running on program. So as we become consciously aware, we realize that we actually have the ability to reprogram our subconscious mind. Because if we grew up in an environment that did not support healthy programs, then often we are going to suffer and suffer and suffer in our adult life. But as I was saying in the last video, we don't have to stay in this stuck place because we actually have the ability to reprogram our subconscious mind, but we have to understand how the subconscious mind works. And for many of us, we're in this beta brainwave state where our thoughts are hyperactive, right? Many of us don't know how to slow down our thoughts, and we're trying to do our affirmations. We're trying to do all of these practices to shift something when we're not actually in a state that is going to be able to permeate the subconscious mind. Which then brings me to the title of this video. Don't make this mistake while you're falling asleep. Every night before you fall asleep, you have such an opportune time to reprogram the subconscious mind. Because during the day, your brain waves are in beta state. Then they move into alpha, and then theta, and then delta. And from these three states, where your brain waves have slowed down significantly, when your mind hears something, whether it be through affirmation, autosuggestion, hypnosis, it's going to go directly into the subconscious mind. Whereas during the day, when you're in beta state, it's not able to permeate the subconscious mind because the brain waves are too active at that point in time. So as you're falling asleep, you're naturally drifting. This is how you fall asleep. Your brain waves need to slow down. The same happens when you're in a meditative state. And this is why meditation is so key, because it takes us out of that overactive mind where our programs reside. So with the process of hypnosis, we're able to go into the subconscious mind and insert new programs. So it doesn't matter what programs you grew up on if you can reprogram your subconscious mind today as an adult. So I find the best way to do this is to become clear on what are your current programs that you're running on and create a list that is the complete opposite. So have some general statements, have some specific statements. And one, you can affirm as you're falling asleep, because what most people do when they're drifting off to bed is they're on their phone. They're scrolling through Instagram, they're scrolling through TikTok, they're checking Facebook messages, they're doing work emails, or worst case is they're watching scary movies right before you fall asleep. I was guilty of this in the past, and I still like scary movies, but even if I do watch a scary movie, I make sure that I give myself a 20-minute window before I fall asleep where I have time to do my affirmations, because I understand how important that time is. If I don't utilize that time before I fall asleep, I can feel it the next day when I wake up. So as I was saying, if you want to be someone who's consciously directing your life and you're breaking free from these cycles, from these toxic patterns, and you're really getting into the driver's seat, then it is so important that you utilize your nighttime. Right before you're falling asleep, you have this optimal time to reprogram the subconscious mind. So 1, you can do it by saying your affirmations. But 2, you can put on a hypnosis. And in fact, I actually create a custom hypnosis where you send in your specific statements that you want to program into the subconscious mind. Like I said, it's a combination of general statements as well as specific statements. So I've been creating these hypnosis audio tapes for you guys for quite some time, and I set it to a very beautiful calming music that's going to allow you to drift into sleep. Now, what often happens is that when you use this self-hypnosis as you're falling asleep with your specific statements, so my voice will be repeating these to you over and over again. What often happens for many people, and this happens for myself as well, is you may dream of someone repeating your statements back to you. And this is great because if you do, this is a huge sign that it is reprogramming the subconscious mind as you sleep. Now keep in mind, you don't have to have that happen for this to work. Just know that if you're drifting off into sleep and you have your headphones on and you're listening to your custom hypnosis or any hypnosis, but I recommend something that is more custom versus just a general hypnosis that you find online, because it's going to be directly what you want to change in your life. So as you drift off, you simply allow this to do the work for you. And this is one of the most transformative ways that I've found to actually create a lasting change in my life, is to use that time right before bed to put in a new program, to put in a new mindset, to override all of the negativity from the past so that I can actually create something new. And for those of you who agree with this concept of Wu Wei, the art of doing nothing, which I absolutely love, this is a great practice for you because it's the simplest way to do this work. You know, I'm a firm believer that we do not need to take excessive action in the physical world. What we need to do is get our programs aligned with what it is that we want, because remember that our subconscious mind dictates 95 to 98% of the action we take. So once the program is there, the action will come naturally. That is what is called inspired action. But in addition, the universe, through vibration, will start to draw in experiences to you, which is what I like to call this idea of effortless manifestation, where we wake up and like a magnet, you're drawing things to you with little to no effort. So if that sounds interesting to you, I highly recommend taking advantage of that time right before you fall asleep, whether it's affirmations or hypnosis. If you guys are interested in getting your custom 3-hour hypnosis, I do have a promotion going on for $20 off. So I'll leave the promotional code in the description down below. But I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I'll see you soon. Take care.